Double moves.
Touchdown, Arizona. Ron Brown Jr. in for 6, and the Rattlers take the lead. Milers, 11 of 19 for 111 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. They set up the screen. It's Brown in space. Watch out. He'll take it for 6. Touchdown, Rattlers. Ron Brown Jr. does it again.
From the 5, Thompson stands tall, fires, end zone, caught, touchdown, Alexander, and the Blizzard back on top.
Yeah, Coach Barrett loves to go.
Thompson a throw, rolls out, Thompson still with it, comes back this way, end zone, touchdown, Isaac Ross.
And we are back with another episode of Indoor Football Weekly. That's Trey. I'm Adam. And Trey, we're here. Championship weekend. Let's go. How you feeling about it?
Feeling good. Yeah, it's going to be a very fun weekend in Tucson. Have a long travel day tomorrow to get out there. But yeah, it's going to be a fun weekend. Excited to get out there and mingle with the folks in the IFL, the teams, the fans, everybody.
And Trey specifically said, Adam, I don't want you anywhere near this. Stay in Charlotte. I dealt with you in Fishers. That was more than enough. I never need that again.
I did. I said, I'm the gatekeeper. We're at max capacity, pal. No,
max
not
capacity.
happening. He's
going to work. Yeah. Someone else is his +1 to the awards banquet, unfortunately. So, but Trey, let's crack a brew and talk some ball.
Yeah, I got a little excited. I cracked it during the intro. It's sacrilege. I know. I got excited. I'll be a very, very fun weekend of games between Tulsa, Green Bay, and then Arizona, San Diego. Both very different in their approaches and their feel. And it felt like, all right, we may not see a stop all day in Tulsa, Green Bay, but then you flipped over to Arizona, San Diego. It's like, all right, eventually these teams got to start scoring points, right? So it was two totally different feels to the beginnings of those games, and they both ended up being pretty entertaining as a whole.
Yeah, no, it was a spectacular weekend of football. 2 spectacular games. Like, I can't think of a time I've seen 2 games that good in a weekend in a while. I mean, even though, let's get right into it. I mean, we had a Western Conference final that felt like it got a little bit out of hand. And it was closer than it kind of felt, but also not as close as it felt. It was a weird game. It was a very weird game to be watching.
Yeah. This is a game where the box score will lie to you about how this game actually played out. Like, if you just glance at the box score, you're like, what was it? 43-37 was that the final? Yeah, 43-37. You're like, oh, tightly contested game down to the wire. San Diego scored with less than a minute. It's like, no. Arizona was very much in control of this game, especially in the third quarter as they pulled away, and San Diego was still having trouble getting out of the parking lot, it seemed like, on offense. This Arizona team just continuing to be physical, be a ground and pound presence on offense with a defense that is suffocating and wasn't letting a very good San Diego offense really get going for the first 55, 56 minutes of the game.
No, I mean, they never really let them get going. It was just we said it, they're not the Rattlers right now. They're the Anacondas. They're just suffocating everybody defensively, imposing their will from start to finish. I mean, this was a Rattlers team. I mean, and the Strike Force were kind of there and with them for a good chunk of it. It just, it turned out to be they couldn't hang with them. And that's a hard thing to do for anybody. And just a team that's so pass heavy is really tough.
Yeah, defensively, San Diego played really, really well in that first half too, where you look at the scoreboard for Arizona, how they got on the board was a kick return, and I think it was a kick return, a field goal, a safety, and 1 offensive touchdown. So it wasn't like Arizona was just lighting up the scoreboard. Like San Diego's defense came to play too, and it was a stalemate at halftime, to the point where I was like, I don't really know who has the edge so far in this first half, just because Arizona's offense wasn't really doing much, San Diego's offense wasn't doing much, but that third quarter is where Arizona really just pulled away, and Max Miler showing why he was a league MVP last year, where he hasn't had the best playoffs statistically, but he's made all the plays that he's needed to make for his team to win.
So Trey, longtime listeners of you and I talking ball might remember we had a conversation about a month and a half ago if Drew Powell was the better option than Max Miler for the stretch run. And Max has had some good games, and he's won games. He's won games ugly. But it's just, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out like what's going on, because he's getting it done. Yes. But it just doesn't feel like the dominating performance you'd expect maybe out of this offense. So I don't know if there's just a little bit of rust, or if it's the playoffs. So everything is just harder.
Well, they played two of the best teams in the league in the playoffs in Vegas and San Diego. So, it's easy to put 60 on San Antonio. It's easy to put 70 on, New Mexico, right? But when you play against a team like Vegas that has literally been there before last year, you're going to get some stiff competition. And Vegas just dropped the ball on defense a handful of times in that game that enabled Arizona to do the exact same thing they did in this game, do just enough to win the game. The defense was suffocating, and that's clearly the formula for this Rattlers team.
No, I mean, and it's been a very successful formula.
Yeah, it seems like the league and the sport ebbs and flows a little bit, where it seems like a lot of teams have become a lot more finesse and a lot more speed oriented, and Arizona kind of shifted it in the opposite direction and said, all right, you go ahead, be finesse. We're going to beef up our O-line. We're going to have some big bad dudes on the D-line, and we're going to physically control the line of scrimmage. And that's what they've been able to do for the past month and a half. So credit to San Diego for having a really good season. It's tough to only lose 4 games in a season and 3 of them be to the same team in Arizona. But yeah, it felt like this was the opportunity for San Diego to make that next step and take the leap and finally get over that threshold. But we'll have to see what this next season looks like. I'm sure there's going to be some changes all around the team.
Yeah. I mean, we'll kind of get to that next. So, I mean, this was we talked about a big weekend. We had a Western Conference game. And I think, you know what I think it is? I think the Western Conference final felt like such a letdown after we had an absolute banger in the Eastern Conference, where we had old school 50-yard football, punch, counter punch, everything in between, just back and forth, haymakers, a 67-60 OT thriller between the Blizz and the Oilers. Trey, what were your thoughts watching this game? What are your thoughts now that you've had time to think about it? And where does this game fall in the pantheon of your IFL games this year?
It's up there, especially considering the stakes, especially considering the plays that had to be made by both offenses down the stretch. Especially Liam Thompson had a run and throw, I think with like 3 minutes or so left in the game to take the lead. He's running right, thrown across his body, 40-yard dot, only where his receiver could get it. It was just like, man, he just continues to make these incredible plays and these pivotal moments for this team. But yeah, this is one of the best games of the entire year by far. And it was one of those ones where I thought Tulsa was going to pull off the upset before the game. There was just something about this Tulsa team that just gave me that vibe, and they had it. They had played, it there.
They were there.
They had the lead with less than a minute left, and Green Bay's very, very, very lucky they were able to convert that field goal at the end, because if they lost this game with the way they butchered that last minute
with the field goal, I mean, we talked about, you and I talked about it.
Yeah.
You know, Trey, we talked about it. We talked about how these teams at end of games are getting just a little too cute when the chips are down. This time of year, you got to score on third. If you have a chance to score on third, put it in on third. I can see not putting it in on second, but I even then don't love that. But just put it in. Put it in the end zone and just rock and roll from there.
Yeah.
I really think that is the biggest thing is, making that happen, making that work. And Green Bay was almost another victim of that. Like we've seen teams have this issue all year where they think we can get it in, and then all of a sudden you can't get it in, and you're in a world of trouble. A world of trouble.
Mevis hit that clutch field goal. Got it in just by the skin of the teeth. Got it in, but hey, a field goal is a field goal, no matter if you barely get it in.
They don't ask how, Trey. They ask how many.
Just make it. Just make it, baby. So this Tulsa game was unbelievable. Tulsa needed a ground presence, and that's what they got. Caleb Ramseur had another fantastic game in this one. 2 touchdowns on the ground. TJ had 6 total touchdowns, 4 through the air, 2 on the ground. But it was a situation where Tulsa just needed a stop down the stretch, and Green Bay just kept answering the bell. And Green Bay was able to go up and down the field and make plays when they needed it. I think they had over 100 rushing yards as a team, over 200 passing yards, 7 passing touchdowns.
107 on the ground, 232 through the air, 7 passing touchdowns from Liam Thompson, and DeMillan Brown added a rushing. Liam Thompson, 64 yards rushing, 232, 296 total yards, 7 touchdowns. If he's not the MVP after another performance like this, what are we doing, IFL? Like, I want to talk to the voters. Trey, let me get out and talk to the voters here, okay? Because let me explain to you why Liam Thompson is that dude.
All right, I think I might be able to get in the voters' ear this weekend. I'm not sure about you, but I'll be able to get in there.
If we get the news that it's someone other than Liam Thompson, I expect you. I'm going to send you a sign to hold up that says Liam was robbed. I think I'll send them to you and Joey Bonadonna, and I think we can get those held up.
What's crazy is Liam Thompson not only not making the IFL all IFL first team or second team. There were no Blizzard offensive players on the first team.
And they took that personally.
That's crazy. That's crazy to look at. They're going
to take that oh God, just thinking about that, I'm always for the team that has the chip on their shoulder. And right now, I think Green Bay has the bigger chip on their shoulder heading into this weekend against the Rattlers. And you got to check out our picks later. We're talking to Peter Schwartz here in a minute.
Yep.
Listen to our picks at the end of that. But we'll talk about everything except the picks between now and then.
Yeah. It was just a fantastic game where Tulsa absolutely showed up and rose to the occasion. And it just felt like they were in as I say this out loud, this Eastern Conference Championship was very reminiscent of last year's Western Conference Championship between San Diego and Vegas. A clutch field goal sent it to overtime. They traded some blows back and forth, but ultimately last year, Vegas was able to get it into the end zone. And this year, Green Bay was able to get it done in OT. So, just very talented Tulsa team that just came up a little bit short, and very proud of the progress that group has made and what they've been able to build as a culture. If you look at what Coach Marvin Jones has done building on each year, I think the first year he had 2 wins. Second year, 6 wins. Third year, 10 wins. And this fourth year, he's 2 plays away from the IFL National Championship. Just such a good culture builder there. And who knows what next year looks like, but it feels like it's going to be tough to retain some of the pieces.
The future is bright out in Oklahoma for this team here.
Yeah.
Really exciting heading into this weekend. Sorry, I'm also dealing with StreamYard help right now. They are not my favorite people at the moment.
Sounds like it. Yeah, this Green Bay team, like Matt Barron, just deserves a ton of credit for what he's been able to do with Liam Thompson, and heading into this championship game, facing his quarterback from last year that won the MVP, and just like that was one of my question marks for this Green Bay team before the season started was how are you going to replace 100 touchdowns worth of production from that offense in both Max Myler and Kemo Clark? That's a lot to replace. But
Liam Thompson and Trevin Alexander.
You can make the case that this offense is more dynamic than last year's was, which is incredible because that offense was outstanding.
So Liam this is going to feel like a little bit of a cop-out comparison, but I think it's very accurate. When I watch Liam Thompson, I see shades of Patrick Mahomes, where he's not the fastest, he's not the biggest, he's not the strongest, but he is the slipperiest. Mm-hmm. He's in a spot, he ducks under, he gets out, he finds a spot, he's quick, turn, balls out. He gets away from stuff and gets the ball out really, really well in a way that I don't think there's a lot of quarterbacks that do that in the IFL. I think other guys are a little bit bigger, a little bit more physical. Liam's just very quick with the ball. He's quick with the release. He's quick with his feet. And I think that is the big time difference maker. And that's why I think despite Arizona's defensive line, Green Bay has something here. And I don't think you're going to see the Blizzard get shut down in the way that other teams have been shut down going up against Arizona.
Yeah, I don't anticipate Green Bay getting shut down by any means. But if there's any team that can limit them, it's this Arizona defense based on how they played over the last 8 weeks of the season. After they lifted the Western Conference trophy, Kevin Guy, I think, asked Ari Wolf, he was like, who won the first game? I didn't even see who won. And they told him Green Bay did. He goes, oh, good. They have an offense. This will be fun. And so that right there, I was like, he's embracing the challenge. And that was the most Kevin Guy answer you could have possibly dreamed of.
Bro, it's what you love to hear from
100%. Yeah.
It's what you love to hear from Kevin Guy. Isn't that right, bro?
Yeah, bro. Love to hear it, bro.
Is anybody a better character right now in indoor football than Kevin Guy?
He's the best. He's the absolute best.
Can we get some more characters here?
If he finds a way to win this IFL National Championship, I'm just saying turn your X notifications on for the next week and a half. And it's a bad day to be Chat GPT because he is going to be all up in that, creating all sorts of stuff, and it's going to be phenomenal.
How many times will he clip you or I?
I don't know. I'd be honored and humbled. Honored and humbled.
I mean, you got clipped. Who was it that clipped you earlier this year? I forget. It was the Rattlers. It was them. It was the Rattlers. That was right.
I was very complimentary of the Rattlers, and I'm like, all right, I got a good edit. Let's go. I'm sure they could have dug and found some stuff that made me look real bad. But it's gonna be a very fun game, and it's just so exciting to see that number one defense in the league versus that number one offense in the league. But then, how are the other units going to respond, going back and forth with one another? Where Arizona's offense has been hot and cold at times, Green Bay's defense hasn't been elite like we've seen in the past.
This isn't a classic. This is not a classic Blizzball team. Blizzball is evolved.
Not at all. Not at all.
But more so than past years, they are powered by the power of friendship.
That's right. The power of friendship, and there's just something in the water in Green Bay that's making this team click this year.
It is water now in Green Bay. It was ice for until a few months ago. So.
Well, I gotta. We were talking about buy or sell before we went live. I got to buy or sell for you for this game for Arizona versus Green Bay. Buy or sell. There will be more rushing touchdowns than passing touchdowns total in this game.
Sell.
Okay.
And here's why. You're gonna be right for 3/4 of this game, but this game is gonna be tight with the clock winding down. And we're going to start to see some haymakers in the last 5 minutes. So I think, yes, for the first 3.5 quarters, it's going to be that. Mm-hmm. But I also think there's a high probability we see more scoring in the last 6 minutes than we did in the previous 3.5 quarters.
Right.
So yes, for most of the game, but the wild haymakers at the end that I am pretty sure we're going to get, as both of these teams have been on the edge of losing games by holding the ball too long and getting too cute. They're just going to punch it in and say, we'll take our chances and we'll get a stop. And they're both going to bet on their defenses, which isn't a bad thing. Your defense has to make a stop eventually.
Yeah. I'm buying. I'm buying because I think what this Arizona offense is able to do on the ground with that three-headed monster of Myler, Ron Brown Jr., and then Kemo Clark. I think Kemo Clark is the least talked about player on this offense this week so far, from what I've seen coverage wise. And he's dynamic. He's absolutely dynamic going against his former team. It seems like he is ripe for just a massive game. And so it's one of those things where for Arizona, and they even hand off to Corey Reed Jr. sometimes, who's a big 6'4" receiver who's able to push the pile, right? So there's so many ways they can attack it, and Green Bay is not afraid to get innovative with how they run the ball in the red zone. Trayvon Alexander getting in the mix, Demillion Brown has been great over the past few weeks. So it wouldn't surprise me to see at some point in this game 8 or 9 rushing touchdowns between the two teams combined.
That's a lot. I can't go that high. I think there's going to be like 4 rushing touchdowns. Buy or sell, Trey. Okay. And this one is a little speculative out to the future. Okay. So we're going to get a little speculative here. I need you to put your forward-thinking wizard hat on. Get the old crystal ball out. Okay. So, buy or sell. Matt Barrett is not coaching in Green Bay next year because he gets a job elsewhere with one of the expansion teams.
For the sake of the sport, for the sake of the league, I hope it's a buy. I want that to happen. I would love to see him get an opportunity. Who knows? Maybe he's the guy in Savannah next year. Maybe he's the guy in an unnamed location that is rumored to be coming. So I would love to see him get a shot as the leader of a team, especially an expansion team. I think that'd be such a unique opportunity. Back-to-back assistant coach of the year. It's clear he knows what he's doing. He's developing quarterbacks like nobody's business, and he has a clear eye for talent too. So, yeah, I hope for the sake of the league and for the sake of his development, it's a buy. But I also wouldn't be shocked to see him back in Green Bay either.
Yeah, I think wherever he is next year, there's a good chance that team is back in this position again next year at the rate he's going. Again, this is – everyone's always like, well, why don't these coordinators get scooped up? It's like because this is the IFL, and guys – like their situations. They don't necessarily want to move. They're happy with where they're at. And so it's not always as simple as, yep, he's the number one coordinator. Sometimes we get candidates who just come out of absolutely nowhere to get hired. And then we remember, oh yeah, we remember that dude. That's a good hire. So
yeah, and he went to Wisconsin Whitewater too. So he's local to the Midwest area. So yeah, that's why I'm saying it's not, to your point about the coordinator situation, a lot of the times this is not their full-time year-round gig. They do this for the 6 months of the year and they got other stuff going on. So I would love to see him get an opportunity though.
No. All right, Trey, you got another one or no?
The rushing one was the most intriguing one to me because it just feels like it's gonna be a slugfest, and it feels like Green Bay has the better chance to have the big pop plays, but based on how that defense is playing, they might have to have 5-6 play drives that march down the field and put them in the red zone opportunities. So, nothing for this game, nothing else for this game in particular. If we want to fall down the rabbit hole of future speculation, which we have plenty of offseason to do.
I got another one. Buy or sell. More of an over-under. But buy or sell, there will be more than 3.5 deuces in this game.
Based on Mevis alone, I'm gonna go over. So I'm buying. Yes. Buying the over. Yes, I'm buying the over. Mevis has been a weapon. He really wasn't that great deuce wise in the Tulsa game. There were several moments where I was like, all right, here it comes, it's happening, but wasn't able to really connect on it. And Matthew Cook has been sneaky good with the deuces as well. So the Tucson arena is an interesting one. You typically don't see a ton of them in that space. But if there's any two kickers that can figure it out, it's these two guys.
Yeah. I got one more. Over, under, or buy, sell. we get at least 2 Kevin Guy on-field hot mic moments.
We had a pretty good hot mic moment in San Diego. That was pretty awesome.
Do we get
with Babs and Ari on the sideline? It feels like a lock. Like, it feels like the powers that be are going to say, "Listen, Babs, you are glued to Kevin Guy's side for this entire drive or this entire half."
I think that's backwards. I think I put Ari right there and just say, "Ari, don't be afraid of anything."
Right.
Like, how great would it be to see an epic reversal where Babs just comes out like very traditional, old school, and Ari Wolf has the Tropical Bros shirt on, just running around and just causing havoc all over.
Play the Uno reverse card. Yeah, I mean, Babs has a good rapport with Roberson from a couple of games, especially last week in the game down in Orlando too. So I could see that, where Babs is on Roberson watch and Ari and Kevin Guy are reunited and back at it like they have been over the past 20 years.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a great broadcast. Very excited for it. Tons of coverage going on. Obviously, Media Day and Banquet on Saturday. And then on Sunday, we got the game, 7:30. Yeah, it's going to be huge. Anything else you want to touch on heading into the game before we jump over and talk to Peter?
No, this is going to be a very fun game. And I think this is one of the best case scenarios. You listening? No, we're back. Right, cool.
We're back.
Yeah, so I think this is best case scenario for the league, especially attendance wise, where last year Vegas had some folks there. Green Bay had a bunch of folks fly in, but it's one of those things where if the same people from last year fly in again for this one. So I imagine we'll see some of the same folks out there, but Arizona being a 80-90 minute drive away from this Tucson arena, feels like we're going to see a ton of Rattlers fans, and the Tucson faithful don't want to see the Rattlers win in their home field. So we're going to have an interesting hate watch situation with Tucson, then the Arizona fans, and then the Green Bay fans. It's going to be like a triple threat match, but Tucson and Green Bay are going to have like an alliance. It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out in the arena.
Yeah. No, this has just been great. And I'm having some technical difficulties. So what's going to happen is there's going to be another video going up here in just a minute on a separate channel of the Peter interview. I apologize. I thought this would let me do it. And this is why I've been talking with StreamYard Help this entire time. Apologies, y'all. If you want to catch the uninterrupted full version end to end, you can do it on the audio feed of Indoor Football Weekly. So that'll be great. Yeah, Trey, anything else you want to plug? Anything you got going on down at the game?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a weekend full of fun. It's going to be a whirlwind 72 hours. Make sure you're following at Off the Wall FB across all socials. F as in foot, B as in ball, Off the Wall FB. I'm going to do a live stream from Media Day after they do some of their announcements and do some of their presser type things. So we'll see how that works out. And all day Sunday, we'll be getting to the arena nice and early to try to get as much content as possible. And last year, when we were at the game, I ran into a bunch of coaches before the game, so I was able to snag little snippets of interviews here or there. So it should be a very fun time. I'm excited to see some folks I haven't seen in a while, and just grow the game and celebrate the beautiful indoor football season that we had this year.
It's been spectacular. It's been great. Trey, we're not going to be done this off season. There will be more. Don't worry, folks. We're very excited for more. Again, just apologies for the technical errors. StreamYard wasn't letting me doing what I need to do. So just in another minute or so, Trey and I will both put the link out to the Peter interview. You can catch that there, and the audio version will drop tomorrow morning, of course. Indoor Football Weekly will be back next week to recap, and we got some fun off-season content we've been working on. That's Trey. I'm Adam, and we will see y'all next week.
Double moves. Touchdown, Arizona. Ron Brown Jr. in for 6, and the Rattlers take the lead. Miles Milers, 11 of 19 for 111 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. They set up the screen. It's Brown in space. Watch out. He'll take it for 6. Touchdown, Rattlers. Ron Brown Jr. does it again.
From the 5, Thompson stands tall, fires, end zone, caught, touchdown, Alexander, and the Blizzard back on top.
Yeah, Coach Barrett loves to go.
Thompson a throw, rolls out, Thompson